Now we're rolling. Damage Plan MMA podcast. I'm Jason, as always, my co-host, the voice of MMA in Utah.
Don't kick the camera.
Sorry, man. Sorry. We got a very special Fighter Spotlight podcast today. I'm very excited to welcome back Miyo Strong to the podcast to talk about her MMA debut October 29th in the Fierce Fighting Championship cage.
Yes,
Miyo,
thanks for having me.
welcome back.
Thank you.
I see the shiner's gone.
I know it's going away.
Oh, you get punched in the face a little?
What was that?
You get punched in the face a little?
You know, just I got to learn to block better, apparently.
Damn, Jason. I know it was Jason's fault.
For sure, but have you seen his foot? That motherfucker got his due.
No, but I wanted to ask you about him. Does he always wear sunglasses in the bathtub, or was that just a one-time
Those
thing?
were goggles.
Oh, goggles. I thought they were sunglasses. So I'm like, he's in the bathtub with his sunglasses on.
No, those were goggles. Yeah, I know it's kind of sad because the injury, like originally when Jason, myself, and Cody were talking about making this fight happen, it was going to be Jason and I on the card together.
Oh.
Yeah. But I think it worked out well. I mean, of course, I don't want him to be injured, but I can't imagine like both of us with like the 5 kids between us and both working full-time jobs and both volunteering in the community. And I mean, it's a lot. So
yeah. So how did you decide, hey, I just want to do one MMA fight?
So I've been doing a little more striking because of my role with Smart Defense. Right. And my 11-year-old actually is doing a lot of Muay Thai and Krav over at Atlas. So I thought, I'll take it more seriously and start training a little bit more. And then just, of course, with Jason's, terrible influence on my life, he's like, you got to do this, and yeah. I have wanted to do it in the past. My original thought years and years and years ago was to do it like before I turned 35, but I'm 43. So it's
that boat by a minute.
Yeah.
I missed the boat for sure.
And for people that are watching it are going to be listening to this, you have experience competing because you've done jiu-jitsu competitions, right?
Yeah, I've done a ton of jiu-jitsu competitions and I've done a ton of super fights in cages.
Okay.
I just haven't ever done both MMA ever.
So how do you think that do you think that there will be an extra height of nerves, or are you somebody that gets pretty antsy and anxious before your super fights or for your jiu-jitsu matches? Like, what do you think it's going to be like comparing the two experiences?
I think it's completely different. It's kind of an interesting thing because my kids kind of called me out on something when we were originally talking about me taking this fight. I tell them and my students all the time, like, you have to push yourself. You have to do like things that you're scared of. You have to, grow. Growth only happens when you're really uncomfortable. And we were talking about jiu-jitsu and competing, and I was like, it doesn't make me nervous anymore. It doesn't, like, I love it. I am grateful for it. And I am very present when I do it, but I don't have the nerves at all. And preparing for this, it's been interesting because I am immediately taken back to when I first started competing in jiu-jitsu. It's a very similar physiological reaction because it is new and it is scary and it is uncomfortable. And so my kids were like, jiu-jitsu doesn't even make you nervous anymore. Like, you can't even say that you do stuff that makes you uncomfortable. I was like, true. And, like, teaching doesn't make me uncomfortable anymore. Public speaking doesn't make me uncomfortable anymore. But this is uncomfortable as hell.
So naturally get in a cage and fight another human being.
Yep. It is super uncomfortable. And it's not like I am like, hey, let's go do a smaller show. Nope. We're just going to
we're going to the Maverick Center.
Yep. We'll just like jump in the deep end. And my opponent has 5 times the experience that I do.
I noticed she's got five fights.
Yeah. And she was on the 2014 Olympic trials wrestling team.
Okay.
So she's very, very legitimate and very talented and super athletic. And I'm really looking forward to it because it was a hard thing to find the correct matchup for me.
Nice.
I ideally would love another debut girl or an 0-1 or a 1-0, like somebody closer.
Yeah.
But, it's really hard when you're a jiu-jitsu brown belt
Yeah.
that most coaches really don't want their athletes to do that, even though I haven't had much striking experience.
Well,
Yeah.
it's just one of those things, right? Usually we find as you watch fights and stuff, the person that has the most dominant skill set usually gets it to that area or keeps it on the feet or in that area, right?
Mhm.
And that's what plays out. And that's usually the beginning of the end, is when that person with the dominant skill set can, implement that into a game plan. So anytime you send out a bunch of coaches, hey, we have this 0-0 person, by the way, her background's is a brown belt in jiu-jitsu. It's competed all over the country, and that they're not usually super keen on signing up their other amateurs to fight that person.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm 43, so that's a little bit weird too, like the age thing. And 115 is kind of a hard weight class, I'm finding. Not as hard as 105, of course, but and I had thought about going down to 105, but I'm too old for that. I've got too many other things to worry about. I don't want to weight cut hard.
I get that. I get it.
Yeah. So tell everybody a little bit about too the smart defense side of things and part of how that factors into you taking this fight.
Yeah, that's a huge reason why I'm even doing this. It's, my full-time position with the Elizabeth Smart Foundation is their Smart Defense program director. And I'm raising money for Smart Defense scholarships. We are, Cody and I had talked about it early on that, whatever I make in ticket sales, because it's an amateur fight, we've thrown around like taking a pro fight, but we couldn't really find a pro that would take it. One pro, we asked one pro and their coach said no. But so knowing I wouldn't get paid to do it, like the only way to raise money is through ticket sales. And so I set a goal. I actually asked him, I'm like, Cody, who's the guy that's raised the most money on your cards? And he's like, oh, Bobby King. I'm like, all right, give me that number. I'm going to surpass it. So I've asked a bunch of companies to match whatever I raise. And so not only is it like a great way to raise awareness for, women's self-defense and the practicality and the needs of it, it's also like taking our donation, my small donation, amplifying it by 5, 6, 7 times. Just, I'm hoping we're going to reach 300 plus women with these scholarships.
That's awesome. Yeah, really awesome.
Yeah. And people are on board. It's interesting. Most of my ticket sales are going to people who have never been to an MMA match, have no idea what combat sports are, but they believe in our mission at the foundation. They believe in, representing and supporting survivors. And it's going to be an interesting night for a lot of people.
Well, it's going to be a really fun experience for a lot of them, because there's a lot of fights that Jason and I are lucky enough that we'll be cage side commentating the fight. So it's like, we're so excited. Like, there's so many fights on this card that are so exciting. It's going to be, it's going to be eye-opening for them. My parents had a family friend over this weekend. She didn't even know what MMA was.
Yeah.
And I was
That's
like,
most of my
what? I thought it was like mainstream enough that like people have at least watched it and know what it is and stuff. I'm like, there's still people that don't even know what it is. I'm like, well, it's going to be pretty eye-opening for you, check it out.
I really wish that my in-person family and friends that are coming could hear you. Like, I know the pay-per-view cast is, I'm really glad that you guys are going to be calling it, because then they'll understand a lot more of what's happening. The couple of super fights that I've had where they've had really quality commentating, my family and friends have been like, oh, now I know what's happening. Like, yeah. they understand it more. So I wish, oh yeah, I hope you get, you could be cage side November 20th too. Who knows?
I don't think so.
Money talks.
No.
We're not that big. We're not that big time yet.
Well, whatever. Yeah. No. So I'm excited to have you guys call it.
Well, appreciate that. But I don't know if we're that professional on it, but we love to freak out and scream. So yes. It works.
Well, the fact that jiu-jitsu, the sport well, like you understand the ins and outs of like strategy and technique and all of that.
So, I mean, it's going to be interesting, right? Because usually when you get two grapplers that are high level grapplers, a lot of times the fights end up staying on the feet because neither competitor wants to take it to the other person's strength, even though it's their own strength. Where do you think this fight's going to play out?
Anywhere it goes, I'm ready. Like I'm okay with anything. I'm comfortable on my feet. I'm comfortable on top. I'm comfortable off my back. I'm comfortable against the cage. Like Ramsey and Jason and Jared have thrown everything at me. So it's not like, I mean, it's a fight. Anything's going to happen. You can go in there with a game plan and then like, well, shit, you have to be able to think on your feet and, use your fight IQ versus your lizard brain.
You guys over at the pit are bringing quite the crew there. You got you, Julian,
and Ken.
Yeah. So 4 of you guys all from the pit are all fighting on this card.
Wait, me, Julian, Kent, and who else? Hi, baby.
3. 1, 2. 3. Yeah, 3 of you guys. Yeah. 3. I haven't finished my monster yet.
Yeah, it's been so fun to train there. Like it's such and I got to say, like, I love all the guys there. They're incredible, but the female training partners have just shown up.
Brenda's the 4th, right?
But Brenda's from Team Link.
Okay. She's been getting rounds in with you guys though, right? I thought I've saw
Yeah, for sure. Like, there's just not a lot of women to spar with.
Yeah.
And it's been really, really great. And I've got several high level ex-college wrestlers that are freaking tanks and amazing that are putting it on me. Tons of high level strikers. So like you name it, like the women are showing up for me and I'm like, whew, so grateful.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing like too. It's like, if you're facing a wrestler and you're fighting off your back and you're comfortable in your jiu-jitsu, but there is a little bit of comfort too, knowing like it can't be worse than what I was having in the training room. Like my last fight was 5 rounds with a wrestler and I was fighting off my back the whole time. And I wasn't winning. I didn't win and I wasn't winning really at any point, but I was very comfortable because I'm used to having better wrestlers pressuring me from the top constantly. And you do get comfortable down there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. And like even today, Jared Richardson, he's an incredible wrestling coach. He's been helping us and Kelsey, one of the like amazing beast wrestlers has been helping me. She's bigger and like probably single digit body fat. Like she's a professional climber. Like she just is amazing. And every time we get done, I'm like, oh, I'm so glad I'm not going to be like in the weight class or having her, like, because we are shark tanking and just building that mental strength too.
Has anything been surprising for you? Because like you've been always so involved with competing and jiu-jitsu and, obviously going through the fight camp with Jason for his last fight and always kind of being around the sport. Now that the spotlight's kind of directed on you a little bit, getting ready for your fight, has there been anything surprising to you with that?
Oh yeah. The gas tank changes. Like I can grapple 100% for like 60 minutes, right? Like, and be fine. 3 rounds of 5 minutes. And I'm like, oh, holy shit, this is so different.
So hard.
Like the cardio is just super different. So luckily early on, we recognized that. So we changed up my strength and conditioning program. And actually one of my good friends, Buck Grant, he's coming out from back East. He does all the combatives for the East Coast Navy SEALs, but nice. he did my strength and conditioning. It's super simple because I'm doing so many other days of training, but he's given me some stuff that I'm like, all right, this is different, but this is definitely mimics more so the stand-up grappling MMA sport than it does grappling.
Yeah. So Miyo, how do people get a hold of you for tickets?
Okay, so I have cage side tickets left at $125 each. So just DM me on Instagram or Facebook. And then I also have a ticket link in my bio on Instagram or in Facebook as well.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And all of the proceeds from ticket sales get donated. So buy your tickets through my link, please.
That's awesome. I love that. I love that.
Absolutely.
Are there any sponsors you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Ooh, yes, I do. I pull up my list.
Do it. Yeah, let's hear
I
it.
have an incredible crew of support and sponsorship. For the match sponsorship, I have Hyperfly, who is an incredible supporter of what we do at the Elizabeth Smart Foundation, as well as Combat Sports. Quick Fresh meal plans, they are also matching, and they are a local company that has saved my life. Well, not my life, my kids' lives, this training camp, because they're right down to the macros. They know exactly what I need. So Quick Fresh, the Maloof Foundation, they're a nonprofit up in Logan. They also own Maloof Companies. Their mission is, again, ending childhood sexual abuse. Don't be looking at your clock. These are important details here. Yeah. So the Maloof Foundation is amazing. Mountain West Commercial Real Estate, they are also generously donating, matching whatever I raise. They're a great local firm. You'll see their signs all over the valley. And actually, Cody surprised me on air last week when we were on Good Things Utah by saying Fierce Fighting Championships itself is going to match whatever I raise to donate as well. And then we have Catalyst Clinic. They're a local ketamine treatment for PTSD and other things. Cami Adams actually works there, and she's helped me, get in touch with those guys. And they are also generously matching whatever I raise as well. And then I have some personal sponsors that I've got to thank that have been supporting me through this entire camp. Gold Elite. So they're a local women-owned, women-led fitness apparel company. The leggings that make your butt look so good. That's their company. And I'm constantly wearing their stuff and everything. Yellow Rose Tattoo. I don't know if you guys know who Louise is.
Oh, yeah.
Temple MMA. So he designed my walkout shirt, as well as donated as well for sponsorship. And Doc Thackeray's, they are a local CBD company. They are incredible. They've just been super supportive. Chad McClellan is one of the owners, and I'm super grateful for their support. And then the foodie realtor, Jenny, she is also supporting me. And I love that she just constantly sponsors and supports local fighters all the time. That's awesome. That's super amazing. And Drink Element. So they're an electrolyte company, which is it's the cleanest. It's literally sodium, potassium, magnesium, and it is the cleanest way to get those electrolytes back in. And they are super generous, and they have been they're sponsoring me as well. And Moochie's. I don't know if you guys know. Cheese.
Oh yeah.
But I love Moochie's, and they have been very, very generous as well. And then also, I have to give a big shout out to Gnarly Nutrition, and they are a local company that does everything from protein drinks to they have a really cool veggie whole food supplement that I love, especially when I'm super, super strict keto and I can't be getting in the tons of high I just am not eating as many veggies, and that's that's one of my favorite products they have. They have a lot of pre-workout I'm obsessed with their pre-workout, and they're just great at supporting female athletes. They don't have a ton of jiu-jitsu people on their roster, but it is a really great relationship, and I'm so grateful that they've all been so supportive. And then I have a couple of private donors that want to stay private, but that they believe in what we're doing. And
that's awesome.
Sounds like you're going to pack the house on the 29th.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I mean, I'm the third fight, so hopefully that means a lot of people get there on time, and they don't have very many amateur fights. There's only
the Fierce cards usually don't. It's usually 2-3 max. So
yeah, and then tons of pros. The whole card is incredible. So.
Yeah, it's insane.
And I'm envious. Fighting at the beginning of the night is the best, because then you get to be done with your fight, and then you get to just sit back and watch the rest of the fights and go around and say hi to everybody and kind of watch the fight with your people, and it's super fun.
Actually asked Cody, I was like, "Can I be first?" He's like, "No, bitch, you're last."
You're the main event.
No, but last amateur. So.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Whose corner is Jason going to be in your corner?
So Ramsey Nijum and Jason South will be cornering me. And then I'm hoping, so Zack Evans from Atlas and Jared Richardson. So they both will hopefully be perched right close by too.
Nice. Shout out to Zack Evans. They got a great facility out there in Riverton.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my gosh, he's amazing.
They are, yeah.
Yeah. The whole, I just could not be better taken care of. right? Like, and Johnny and James from Unified, like, honestly, like, the reason I'm even taking this fight is because I believe in my jiu-jitsu so much. And because my jiu-jitsu is so solid, it's because of Johnny and James. So, like, all of them, like, I'm super grateful to this, like, amazing support team.
So that's going to lead me to the one last question. How do you see the fight ending on October 29th?
I'm going to submit her.
I love it.
And maybe it's like a weird, like,
Go Plata.
Go
yeah.
Plata.
Yeah. Like, you never know. Like, my jiu-jitsu is not very standard. Like, it's very weird.
Well,
it's like Jason's jiu-jitsu, right? Like, we both have this weird, like, we'll submit you from a defensive position. Like, it's stranger, more creative, like, just if it feels good. Like, I don't necessarily find stuff off of like, oh, I drilled this and this is what it leads to. And, you know, like a textbook, it's more like, oh, hey, there's that. I'm going to take that. Like, it's more of a feel.
It's like one of my coaches, he always talks about, he's like, you have to understand concepts, because when you understand concepts, and basically like jiu-jitsu is like joint manipulation, right? So it's like, once you understand that, like, you can start finding stuff from weird different angles, right? Like, and so the one I did have one more question. Like, so it's amateur, so, you know, like there's no heel hooks or things like that. Is that usually a big part of your jiu-jitsu game, or are you totally comfortable going with other stuff?
No, not at all. Like, because I can't heel hook in, I mean, I can heel hook in the super fights I've done, but I can't heel hook in regular IBJJF or like, you know, fight to win. Like, those rules don't apply. And honestly, with, I know I do a lot of leg attacks traditionally, but MMA gloves are a little bit different. So, like, I'm happy to submit from anywhere.
I love it.
Bottom side, inverted, you name it. I'm going to try and end it that way. But I mean, I'm totally comfortable. Like, I mean, maybe it would be a dream, but like, catch her in something like a triangle, like mounted triangle, and then just end it with strikes from there. Like, that's an amazing way to go. But at the root of everything, submitting her is probably my number one goal.
Sweet.
Awesome. Yeah. I can't wait for this fight.
Because she is like a fast, like,
ball of energy.
Yeah.
Yes. And I'm more of like, okay, I'm going to slowly control you. And, you know, so.
Expect the unexpected in a cage.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Isn't that the dang truth? Anything can happen. Yeah. So no heel hooks, but they did start allowing head kicks.
Yes.
And you can do, like, you can still toe fold. You can still knee bar. You can still.
Knee bars. You could actually, I mean, you could do anything that's straight. So as long as it's not like across the body, right? So it's
like, so you can
there's still leg locks to attack. It's just, you don't have as many options.
Yeah, but like bicep slicers, calf slicers, go plata chokes from the top, from the bottom. I mean, jiu-jitsu is such a beautiful, creative, psychotic, like, controlling way to like end someone.
I think it's why I like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, Miyo, we'll let you get out of here. We appreciate you joining us today, and we cannot wait to see you fight on October 29th. If you guys have not got your tickets yet, please reach out to Miyo. Ticket sales are going to a great cause. Please reach out and come support. Miyo, thank you again. Any last thing you want to say?
No, thanks for having me on. Thanks for supporting all the local fighters and doing everything you guys are doing to get more eyes there, more people in the seats. I appreciate you guys.
Thanks, Miyo. We appreciate it. We'll see you October 29th.
Hey, bye, guys.
Yeah.